Hello, welcome back to Full Court Player. My name is Mike Maverick. I'm your host, as y'all know. Before we get started, I have a TikTok page. It is also called Full Court Flair. I also have an Instagram, Full Court Flair. If y'all could, and my YouTube, Full Court Flair, or maybe Mike Maverick. I don't know. But for all the people listening on Spotify, if you could go follow those, that would be much appreciated. I'm posting content on there. I already did some NFL recaps. I did a college football recap, and I'm doing my top 25 after I film this podcast. So that would be much appreciated. All right. So welcome back, episode 2, man. I'm excited. It should be coming out tonight. I'm hoping to get it done. So let's just look at what we have to talk about today. Sorry if like you're watching on YouTube and you see me like go back and forth on the computer, but I'm gonna have to keep looking at my notes or I'm gonna have to keep them open. So let's see what we're talking about today. We're talking about a lot of college football, some college basketball, some lacrosse, uh, like a tiny bit of NHL, and then NFL, of course, like we always do. But welcome back, and I am glad you're here. All right, first topic we have. Let's get into some college football. Georgia Bulldogs proving themselves as the true and legit number one in my eyes, at least. They had an impressive performance against a top 10 team. What they can, Ole Miss was like number 9 last Saturday, and they played Ole Miss at home, won in Sanford Stadium. Ole Miss really was looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. Didn't get it, unfortunately. So Ole Miss is out of playoff contention right now. Um, Georgia put on a show. They won, what was it, 52-17, a statement win, which I thought and everyone else thought and knew should put them above Ohio State in the CFP rankings, and it did, which I think is just objectively correct. Georgia is one of the most dominant teams. I don't think they should have ever not been number one because what's it called? Oh, I'm sorry for stuttering, but they should have never not been number one because two back-to-back national championships, they should be number one until they lose. They're so dominant, um, and yeah, so I don't think they should have ever dropped from number one. But Georgia, dominating performance. Lad McConkey, he's back to himself after coming back from the injury earlier in the season. Brock Bowers is back, better than ever. Carson Beck is getting a little better. Underthrew a few balls last Saturday, but that's okay because Georgia still won 52-17. Let me look at this. Michigan defeats Penn State, puts the Nittany Lions out of playoff contention. Now, I was wrong. I predicted Penn State was going to win this game. They obviously did, and I predicted Drew Aller was going to outperform J.J. McCarthy, and that was obviously wrong. J.J. McCarthy played a much better game than Drew Aller. Drew Aller just, not him, I guess. Drew Aller doesn't know how to perform in big games. I thought he would, but Michigan prevails, and even with Harbaugh, I think, or Harbaugh suspended, I think that gives Michigan a little extra motivation. Like with Harbaugh suspended, you saw all the Michigan players like J.J. McCarthy and everyone else posting like just bet on X, you know. So I think that really proves how committed this team is, how motivated now that they are to win the Big Ten, beat Ohio State in a few weeks. Honestly, I was thinking Ohio State was going to be Michigan. Honestly, I'm putting Michigan above Ohio State. I think Michigan will beat Ohio State. Is it in Michigan? I think it might be. I think it might be in the Big House. But Michigan, impressive win, man. It looked, even though the score might not like say it, what was it, 20? They lost by 9. Even though the score might not say it, it was really a dominating game for Michigan in the running attack. Like their last 20 something 30 plays was all runs. They did not pass the ball into from halfway through the third quarter on. And obviously, the Nittany Lions are now out of playoff contention with losses to Ohio State and Michigan. So that's a big blow for the Nittany Lions. Thought they're going to be a playoff team this year, and their playoff hopes are done. Let's talk about Florida State, the number 4 ranked Seminoles in the new CFP Top 25. Now listen, is Florida State really as good as they seem? I don't really think they are, because just look at their resume. I mean, everybody once you say Florida State's a fraudulent team, everybody's going to say, "Oh, what about LSU? What about LSU?" As LSU continues to lose more games, that game becomes a little bit less impressive. Now, I'm not saying that it's not impressive because LSU is a very dominant and well put together team, especially with Jaden Daniels, my Heisman front runner right now. But what was I thinking? But yeah, FSU had another close game with another like mid to low tier ACC team in Miami, and they played a close game against Pitt and a few other ACC teams. Like I think when Florida State, whoever they play, Louisville or North Carolina in the ACC championship is going to get a rude awakening. They have played the bottom tier of the ACC, and a lot of people say they played Michigan, which is like a top tier ACC team. Michigan or not Michigan, Clemson, which is a top tier ACC team, but Clemson's not the same Clemson we've had in the last few years. So I honestly think Florida State's going to get a rude awakening when they have to play a real team. And even if they make the playoffs, I feel like they're going to just get blown out by whoever the number one seed is, which is most likely Georgia. Their resume is not that good this year, honestly. They continue to play close games, like I said, with low ACC powers, and their legitimacy comes into real question, even with Jordan Travis. I feel, but that's just my opinion, and a lot of people have been flaming me in the comments whenever I leave that. But I just it's undoubtedly true that they're overrated. Let's talk about Alabama. Alabama keeps winning and winning and winning after losing to Texas. Yes. After losing to Texas, Alabama keeps winning, keeping their winning streak alive. They can be a real threat to Georgia in the SEC title game. That game is set. Georgia, Alabama in Atlanta. Going to be a tough one. Jalen Milroe looks more comfortable and comfortable every week. And watch out for Bama, man. They don't have many tough opponents, right? Like to finish out the season, they have Chattanooga and Auburn, which should be two easy wins. So I feel like Alabama is a legit playoff contender. Obviously, they are with only one loss, but the go finishing the season 11-1, and then if they beat Georgia in the SEC title game 12-1, they are for sure a playoff team. And I feel like a lot of people counted out Alabama before like the season even really got going, like when they lost to Texas in week 2, I think it was. So everybody writes off Alabama early every year. It's not a surprise that they did, but Jalen Milroe continues to improve and continues to show that bomb of an arm he has. He's so accurate with the ball. It's insane. Oh, sorry, I get a drink real quick. But yeah, Jalen Milroe, man. Alabama. Watch out for them. All right, Bo Nix. Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels are now atop of my Heisman race. And I'll tell you why. Bo Nix had another amazing game, like 400, what was it? Yeah, around 400 yards, 4 touchdowns with no picks. He continues to be consistent, continues to be smart with the ball. He knows where to throw it. He has an elite offense, obviously. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Continues to have an elite offense, and the Ducks are looking more and more like a playoff team. Honestly, I think the Ducks, if they make it back to the Pac-12 championship, which they should, the Ducks beat whoever they play, whether it's Oregon State or Washington. I think Oregon does that. I think Oregon will win the Pac-12. The Ducks are just too hot right now to not. And Bo Nix is really hitting his stride. Bo Nix looking like the Heisman, and becoming very smart with the ball, and he puts it right in the receiver's hand. You watch him every game, boom in their hand, boom in their hand. He rarely under or overthrows it. It's always in the vicinity, and if it drops it, usually it at least hit the wide receiver or the defender batted it down. So Bo Nix extremely accurate, and Jaden Daniels obviously. Y'all if y'all didn't see the show, he went absolutely crazy against the Florida Gators the other night at home. What he passed for 372 yards and 3 touchdowns, and rushed for on 11 attempts, 234 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was incredible, man. Like I'm telling you, he was like running through holes. He was like finding the holes. He was like dodging defenders. It was crazy, man. He Like he was sprinting down the sideline, like he was burning players. Jaden Daniels, right now, for me, it goes Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Michael Penix are my top three Heisman. Because it's just if Jaden Daniels doesn't win and he keeps playing at this level, I feel like it's not no way he does it. But people are saying, oh, he has three losses. Oh, he has three losses. A lot of quarterbacks have lost like 3 or 4 games and still won the Heisman that year. So I don't think that's a very valid argument to be like, oh, he's got 3 losses. Yeah, I don't think that's a valid argument. So yeah, what are we getting into? Some it may take me a second to pull up the CFP rankings. I want to talk about that and next week's schedule. All right, the game I attended, which it was awesome. Uh, I got pretty close seats. It was pretty cool. Uh, UNC pulls off a double overtime victory to keep their ACC title hopes alive. North Carolina was at home, played the Blue Devils, knew it was going to be a hard fought game. It was an offensive battle to the end, man. Like it looked like both teams were going to run away with it at some point. When Duke hit that shot to the end zone on like 4th and 9, and with like 40 seconds left, I thought the game was over. I thought the game was over. Then North Carolina drives down the field with Copenhagen and Tez Walker hit the field goal, go into overtime, field goal, score the touchdown, 2-point conversion, and then stop Duke on their 2-point conversion. It was incredible, man. The atmosphere was electric. We got to go on the field after. It was awesome, man. But Drake May and Tez Walker continue to show they are a very dynamic quarterback wide receiver duo. Drake May, he would have gone up in my Heisman list if it wasn't for that one pick out of the end zone. But I don't know, you can never be perfect. Tez Walker had himself a game. He snagged a few balls that you don't see often. Amarion Hampton wasn't as dominant. And the defense is just letting everyone walk over them like usual, but everyone's used to that by now. And so, yeah. All right, time to talk about the college football ranking. Let me pull it up real quick. And then we're going to talk about the college football schedule because we have a great slate ahead of us. Let's see. Newest rankings of college football playoff. Here we go. All right, Georgia number one. Obviously, Georgia's the number one. I was just talking about that. We all knew that. Ohio State number two, no complaints. Michigan number three, no complaints. Those two can be interchangeable, honestly. Georgia should be a top, but Michigan, Ohio State kind of have the same resume. They can be interchangeable. Florida State, don't agree with that. I think Washington should be number four over Florida State. I honestly would put Oregon over Florida State, even though Florida State has not lost a game. I would put Oregon over them, but you know, so I feel Oregon seems rightly placed. Texas over Alabama, can't really complain in the head-to-head game. I feel like Alabama pretty much has a great resume, has a better resume than Texas, but Texas beat them in the head-to-head matchup, so obviously Texas is going to be ahead of them. Missouri jumps from 14 to number 9 after absolutely dominating against Tennessee. I agree, Missouri is a great team. I think if Missouri had beaten Georgia, they would be in the SEC title game right now. Missouri is just so good, so good. Louisville, number 10. I think that's too high. I would honestly put them at like 13, 14. Like I said, a really bad loss to a Pitt team and not a very good ACC schedule. I mean, they did beat Notre Dame, but that's the only game I'm looking at on their schedule and being like, that was a really good win. Oregon State at number 11, can't complain. Oregon State and Washington playing this week. That's going to be a great game. Penn State dropping down to number 12 from number 10. Can't complain. Ole Miss drops 4 spots. I don't know if they should have dropped that far. I'd maybe switch Ole Miss and Penn State from 12 to 13. Oklahoma at 14, can't complain. LSU at 15, yeah, seems about right. Iowa at 16 is outrageous. I just feel like they don't have that good of a schedule to put them that high. Their defense is elite. Don't get me wrong. Defense is absolutely freaking elite. But I don't think they should be that high. Arizona, feel like they're a little too high at 17. I'd switch Arizona and Tennessee. Tennessee at 18, like I said, I'd switch them. Notre Dame at 19, no problem. North Carolina 20, no problem. Kansas State 21, Utah 22. I'd probably flip those two. 23 Oklahoma State. I don't think they should be ranked. Number 24 Tulane sounds about right. Number 25 Kansas sounds about right. So honestly, not too many problems with this week's CFP poll, but it's just a few I'd switch out, few people I would have a lot lower than they do. But record matters a lot to them, maybe not as much resume. It seems this year like a lot of them seem to be going for record, like which record looks prettier, because I don't think like for example, I don't I nowhere in my mind do I think Louisville is beating Penn State or Ole Miss or Oregon State, but yet they're ranked above them. It's probably because of that 9-1 record, and the other ones have 8-2. So I get it, but I also feel like they're going more for record than resume this year. Let's get into some college football games. Let me find it real quick. We have a great slate actually this week. We have a great slate of college football. Um, we have some we have some big ACC title implications with North Carolina playing Clemson and Miami playing Louisville. Miami is actually favored to beat Louisville this week, which I was surprised about. I was looking on ESPN, looking at the game, and it was like Miami is what's it called? Yeah, Miami is favored to beat Louisville. It's like really. Georgia versus Tennessee. Give me Georgia, even though it's at even though it's at Neyland Stadium. Give me the Bulldogs by a touchdown or two. Tennessee just doesn't have the willpower this year. All right, North Carolina at Clemson. Now this is going to be an insanely good. Sorry about that. Insanely good game. Clemson favored by 6.5 points. Hello. Sorry about that. Clemson favored for about 6.5 points. I don't know which one to say because that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Give me the Tar Heels though. Michigan at Maryland. Give me Michigan in an easy game. They're favored by 19. I think it's about right. It's about what they should be. Alabama, Chattanooga. Don't even though. Okay, this is like I said, this is a really good game. Louisville at Miami. Miami favored by 0.5 point. So it looks like it's going to be a close game. Looks like it's going to be a close game. I think it for sure will. Give me Miami in this one, honestly. I think Miami pulls the upset at home and beats Louisville, which would be great for North Carolina's ACC title hopes. And I think this is their last game, isn't it? This is their last AC game because they have Kentucky in the schedule. Penn State at Rutgers. Give me the Nittany Lions. Or no, Rutgers at Penn State. Give me the Nittany Lions by about 21-28. UL Monroe at Mississippi. Give me Mississippi by 40. Oklahoma at BYU. Give me Oklahoma, obviously. BYU and all the new Big 12 schools struggle so much with all the powerhouses in the Big 12. So I don't think this game's even going to be close. Tulane at Florida Atlantic. Tulane, obviously, give me them by 2 touchdowns, 2.5. Utah at Arizona. Now this is going to be a really good game. Arizona favored by 1 point coming into this game. Give me Utah though. I feel like Utah pulls off the upset, beats Arizona. Honestly, I think Arizona's ranked a little bit too high, but so give me the Utes. Illinois at Iowa. This is a trap game for Iowa. This is a very, very trap game. I'm favoring Illinois, but Illinois is 5-5 because Iowa just has that elite defense. Give me Iowa. Now, this is what game I have on serious upset alert. Wake Forest at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's favored by 24 points. I think this is a very, very, like when I say slight, I mean slight chance that Wake Forest defeats their old quarterback and wins at Notre Dame. I don't think it will happen, but there's a slight chance. So on the upset meter, I'm putting it about like could possibly happen. Ohio State over Minnesota, Oregon over Arizona State. Don't have much to say about those games. Oklahoma State at Houston. Oklahoma State only favored by a touchdown. Give me Houston in this one. I know that's crazy to say, but give me Houston in this one. I haven't really picked an upset, so give me Houston. Florida State versus North Alabama. Come on now, Florida State. Kansas State at Kansas. Give me Kansas. Jayhawks bounce back from losing. All right. Game of the week. Washington at Oregon State. Oregon State favored by 3 points. Favored by 3 points. Give me. Oh, this is hard. Give me Washington. Give me Washington. Give me Washington. I think Washington goes into Oregon State. I mean, they went into USC one, but I know USC is a lot worse than Washington or Oregon State this year. But give me Washington. Washington has a tough into the schedule. They got this game and then they have Washington State, so they might drop one of those games. But this is on serious upset alert for Washington. But I think Washington pulls it out by three or so points. Florida versus Missouri. Oh gosh, this is tough. I feel like give me the Gators. Give me the Florida Gators. Give me the Florida Gators. Oh no, give me Missouri. They're playing at such a high level right now. Give me Missouri. Texas at Iowa State. Dude, this is hard because I'm calling upset alert on this one. I want to say Iowa State wins, but I feel like that'd just be blasphemous. Give me Texas in a close one, but it could be an upset. LSU at Georgia State. Give me LSU. And Jaden Daniels may put on another show against them. May go out in front even more for my Heisman candidate. Maybe for like the people in Vegas too, because they're predicting him as the second or third most likely to win the Heisman. I think it goes Penix, and then him. So maybe this will help the committee if he balls out again. I think that's it for college football. Let's get into college basketball. Arizona goes into Cameron Indoor Stadium and walks out with a dub, 78-73 against the Blue Devils. Blue Devils just couldn't get it done in clutch moments. The Wildcats definitely could. They hit a bunch of good free throws to seal the game. Caleb Love was back. Caleb Love beat Duke again. I don't really get what people saying he's the owner because he had 11 points that game. He didn't. He was like 4 for 11. So I don't think he's the owner. But Caleb Love gets another win in Cameron Indoor. Does Arizona gets it done? Good dub by Arizona. Keeps them undefeated. Duke beat Michigan State last night though. I was watching that game. That was a pretty good game. Duke got it done. Duke pretty much dominated the whole game. They were up by 6 or 8 or 10 the whole time. So good win by Duke. Good bounce back. Penn upsets number 21 Villanova. Tyler Perkins led the way for the Quakers with 22.6 rebounds. And Penn just absolutely shocks Villanova. And their fans rush the court as they should. Penn, wow, just a great win for Penn. Great confidence booster. Don't think they're really going anywhere this season. But I always kind of thought Villanova was overrated. Oh, dude, we're not done about talking about college football. I'm sorry. Let's go back to college football real quick. So my team's on upset alert. Missouri against Tennessee, Louisville, North Carolina, Notre Dame, and Washington. All right, that was it. Back to college basketball. Or no, we're done with college basketball. Let's talk about a little NHL. Bruins keep winning. They keep their streak alive. What are they? 11-1. So Bruins, hey, staying strong. Looking like they can win the Stanley Cup. Listen, I don't know much about hockey. I'm trying to get into it right now. So that's why I've not really talked about it yet on my TikTok or the podcast or anything. But I'll try to watch more of it for any of y'all hockey fans out there. But yeah, so Bruins continue to win. Bruins sitting atop of the NHL in terms of record. And our next topic is the PLL home cities announced. Now, this was a big news for lacrosse fans. I don't know if any lacrosse fans are watching. Probably not, but I know I am a big fan of lacrosse. Um, so we got some mixed reviews I've seen online about this move. Some people love it, some people hate it. They went back to some MLL teams. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But yeah, they went back to some of the MLL teams like the Denver Outlaws. They got rid of the Chrome and they were what's it called? The Boston Cannons. They brought the Boston Cannons back and they changed the logos a little bit. So a lot of people weren't happy with that, being like you just literally got new jerseys. Why are you gonna change the logo? Which I get, but uh, let's go down the list. Utah Archers. I don't know about having a team in Utah. I don't really know. Think lacrosse is big up there. Denver Outlaws. That's a perfect place for lacrosse. Denver loves lacrosse. You got a good college team there. Got a good fan base. New York Atlas and people from New York love lacrosse. So that's where a lot of good teams come from, like Team 91 New York and stuff like that. Philadelphia Water Dogs. We all knew they were going to Philadelphia because Water Dogs are Philadelphia's team. Always have been. The fans showed out on championship weekend when the Water Dogs were playing. The Maryland Whip Snakes, of course, they're going to have a team in Maryland. Maryland is a hotbed for lacrosse. A lot of Division One talent comes out of Maryland, so obviously they're going to go there. We all knew that. Boston Cannons, we all knew they were going to do that. One that really that because Boston was the old MLL, if you didn't know. But anyway, California Redwoods. I kind of thought they would go somewhere like. I mean, California is west, but I thought they'd kind of go somewhere like Oregon or like a place like that, that like what's it called? What am I trying to say here? That like looks like has a place like redwoods and a bunch of woods and stuff. Which so that kind of confused me. The Carolina Chaos come to Carolina, which is an interesting move. I'm surprised. A lot of controversy, and what I'm surprised about is that they didn't have any teams in like the Midwest. They got snubbed. No, like Illinois. They're all on like each of the coasts. So, and I know there's a lot of fans in the Midwest that love lacrosse. So that's a bummer for them for sure. And yeah. So now that we're done with that, let's get into some NFL. What about not last night. Today's Wednesday, correct? Yes. So the night before Monday night, the Buffalo Bills and versus the Denver Broncos, crazy ending. It looked like the Bills were gonna win. They had the Broncos were running hurry up. The kicker kicked the field goal. He missed it with time expiring, and there were 12 players on the field for the Bills, which is just terrible, terrible for the Bills. Uh, Broncos get a closer kick and get another chance to kick it and win the game on that. Uh, but it shouldn't have been that close in the first place. The Bills are so turnover prone. Like they fumbled it. Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions. Josh Allen needs to be talked about more with how many interceptions he throws. He led the league in interceptions for like the past couple of years. Is something I saw today, and it's ridiculous, man. Josh Allen threw it straight to the defense. I remember watching that, and it was terrible, man. The Bills. I thought they were Super Bowl contenders, but right now they're looking like they're fakers, and they were never really that good since the beginning of the season. Should CJ Stroud be in the MVP conversation? He continues to impress. 360 yards passing in his last game. and beating Joe Burrow and the Bengals away on the road. CJ Stroud continues to impress. He right now he has like the sixth or fifth greatest odds to get the MVP, which is not great odds, but he can still get there. He's playing at such a high and good level right now that he could. Speaking of CJ Stroud, what about CJ Stroud and Sam Howell leading the league in passing yards? Now Sam Howell, I haven't talked about him, but Sam Howell is a steal for the Commanders. What do you get him in like the second or third round? And like he's gonna be their quarterback of the future, no doubt. And he's playing insane right now. Uh, yeah, Sam Howell's really the answer for Washington right now. And I don't see him stopping anytime soon. He's got really good momentum right now. He could lead Washington to the playoffs. I know they're what are they 4-5 or something like that, or yeah, like 4 or 5, 4-6 or something like that. He can lead them to the playoffs. I don't care what anyone says. Um, Washington is a sneaky good team. I feel like people don't talk about that enough. Washington is a sneaky good team. They can beat a good team. I feel like with Terry McLaurin and now, oh no, Chase Young is not on defense anymore. It's on the 49ers. And the 49ers are back. 49ers are back. Brock Purdy played another really good game, threw for like 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey did not score a touchdown in their 34-3 rout over Jacksonville, which is obviously surprising. He scored, 17 or like 20 something straight. Like he was about to break the NFL record. He tied the NFL record, and he did not get that touchdown. And that's rough for him, man. That's really rough. I'm sad to see. Kyler Murray's back. Kyler Murray is back. What about it, man? Kyler Murray. Oh, I don't have a note on this. Kyler Murray's back. Uh, I talked about this on my TikTok, but I don't think Arizona's going to win many games. But Kyler Murray, man, he's playing good. He's back. Um, so yeah, Kyler Murray's back. I'm trying to think of some of the good games that we had. Bears get another win in like a really bad primetime game. Bears between the Panthers, but can't complain. Oh, I'm trying to think of something right here. I'm trying to think of the NFL slate we had. We had a pretty good slate. Chargers versus Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs finally gets out of his shell. Rushes for 2 touchdowns. He showed how electric he can be. Lions are looking like or we all know they're going to easily win the NFC North. But Lions are looking more and more like Super Bowl contenders every game they play. Uh, the AFC, what was it? The North, South? The one that the Bengals, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Ravens is heating up. All four of those teams could make the playoffs, which would be insane. Browns put up a good comeback against the Ravens. Steelers get the win. The only team that didn't win, and then the Bengals lost. But they're both like all teams in that division are really really good. And Deshaun Watson is out for the rest of the season. He led a game-winning drive with a broken shoulder, didn't he? Like he had a broken shoulder the whole game, didn't know it, but he led a game-winning drive, which is incredible. Sam Howell, incredible. And yeah. All right, I think that's all I have to talk about right now. I know if you're following me on TikTok, I said I'd try to make this more like an hour-long thing. I promise I will try to next time. It's just I didn't have enough notes this time. Nothing really of note happened this week in sports. I mean, a lot of stuff of note happened, but I feel like it's not enough to have like a couple hours or an hour of me talking. Or at least I'm not at that level yet of podcasting. But anyway, I appreciate y'all for listening. Remember, if you want to support, you can go follow me on Spotify if you're listening on Spotify. Full Court Flair if you're listening on YouTube. Full Court Flair, Mike Maverick. TikTok, Full Court Flair. Instagram, Full Court Flair. And yeah, I should be making an X soon. So if y'all want to go over there, you can follow me there. And I appreciate all y'all for listening if y'all are. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.